What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada. And welcome to yet another edition of the No Gimmicks podcast. Dale, what is good, my man?
What is up, Todd? Nice to see you again and on this parade Thursday for the Golden State Warriors. So a fantastic so this is a very good day, and obviously and for us, it's going to be a good show too. It's like we are joined by another up and coming indie star that we believe you guys should know about. So let's go ahead and get to that.
Irvin Legend, my man, how's it going out there, brother? How's things out there in Virginia?
Going pretty well right now, man.
Right on, man.
Staying busy, staying healthy.
Hey, well, speaking of which, I'd like to say we're glad to see that you've recovered from your recent concussion and your nose surgery, and glad to hear that you'll be getting back in the ring and doing what you love here very soon. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this here. You got your start in the business back in 2013, so please share with us and our viewers who trained you, which company gave you your start, and also what inspired you to become a professional wrestler.
Well, starting from the bottom, I've always been a fan of wrestling. So, growing up at the time it was WWF, it was the Attitude Era when it was at its peak, when you had The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, Guerrero, another Canadian professional wrestler. So you guys know who I'm talking about.
Benoit. It's all good. You can say Benoit's name on our podcast.
Yeah, you can use his name.
I just wasn't sure because, yeah. But,
incredible wrestler, horrible human being.
Yeah. So, Benoit, Guerrero mostly, because I'm not going to say they were my size because they were, bigger than me and all, but height-wise and stuff. And I instantly felt like a connection because anytime you're smaller, you always feel like you got to work harder for something.
Mm-hmm.
And Guerrero and Benoit worked their butts off. So, those are the main reasons why I wanted to become a professional wrestler. And right after high school, I always used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch pay-per-views because they had a computer that they would show their matches on. And a lot of times, people didn't pay attention to it because they were watching the pay-per-view. But sometimes you had people that would come over to the table, talk to the wrestlers, the local wrestlers, and conversate.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over there and talked to the promoter, the owner, Mark Myers, who owns SPW, and I asked him, what's the classes like? Do you have one free class? So he invited me to come down to the school for a free class, and at the time, I was 150 pounds, very skinny, very timid, so it took me a while to learn how to even run the ropes, and that was my first class.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't afford it at the time financially because he was charging like $275 a month, and I didn't have that, so I left, went to a cheaper school in Norfolk, like 10 minutes down the road, and went there for 6 months under Curtis Mack, and that didn't work out. So, by that time I had got my money right and re-enrolled in Southside Pro Wrestling. Graduated from there. While I was there, I got Rookie of the Year in 2015.
Okay.
And then the school was sold in Yorktown, and Southside became prime time in Yorktown. So I did 6 months there, graduated, and now I'm just going, wherever I please, doing what I want to do.
Okay. All right. So now that you've kind of given us a little bit of background on how you got started in business, this next question here is I'm gonna let Dale ask you about your nickname that you got. So Dale, what you got for Irvin?
All right. So we noticed that your nickname was the answer, and obviously you're from Virginia. So there's a very well-known basketball player that also was from that state and went by the answer Allen Iverson. Are they connected?
Nah, well, when it comes to nicknames, man, there's a lot of people that share the same nicknames. Like, there's the one Leo Rush, and then I'm pretty sure there's a basketball player called the One, Chosen One or something.
That was LeBron when he first came out. He was referred to as the Chosen One.
Yeah, so, there were a lot of people share the same nickname, but not necessarily the same, athletes. Like there could be a football player called the Answer. There could be there could be a rapper called the Answer. It's what you do with that name that makes you stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. Getting back to the whole chosen one thing, I guess LeBron wasn't chosen this time around, was he, Dale?
No, he was not.
So let's move on here to your finisher. So the name of your finisher is called the Holy Grail. So what's the meaning behind that? Where did you come up with that name for your DDT?
well, since my last name is Legend, I did some pretty research on what Holy Grail was, and it's a cup that Jesus drank out of for his Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much anything. Another definition of the Holy Grail is pretty much anything to describe, like, let's just say, the Mecca. Like a lot of people call W the Holy Grail, or a lot of people call a road-number stadium the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
So with my DDT, I'm basically telling people that's DDT around. And the only problem with me using DDT is it's such a common move. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm on shows, I see it within 5 minutes into a match. So it's like I have to figure out a way to make myself stand out with that move. And if somebody does a DDT before I go out, then I just use my other finisher.
Okay. Which is what?
The Moonlight Drive, which is the corkscrew front flip neck breaker.
Okay, so Johnny Mundo's finisher.
Yeah, and
Okay.
occasionally I'll either pull it out from the top rope, or I'll do it. Or on rare occasions, I don't take this bump all the time, but I'll do the swanton.
Okay. Yeah, and neither one of those moves are very easy to execute. So yeah, so you're not gonna see a move like the Moonlight Drive executed as often out there in the indies. So Dale has another question for you in regards to theme music. Dale, what you got for him?
All right, so we kind of also realized you're one of the few indie wrestlers out there that we know of that actually use a custom theme song, and we just want to give a shout out to Montezi for laying down that track for you. In your opinion, why do you feel more wrestlers don't choose to go down this road with theme music?
To be brutally honest, I think it's because they're just being lazy, and they just want to pick any theme song and just go out and perform. Like with me, if I don't feel it, like in my body, if I don't feel any sorts of excitement or concentration before I go to the curtain, then it's going to be a problem. Like the reason why I chose Montezi is because he has so much experience making theme songs. He made a hot one for Roman Reigns, even though Roman doesn't use it. It's more of a cover.
Yeah, it's good.
And speaking of, me and him are actually in works, and he's actually making me another theme song for my return.
Okay, cool.
So as soon as that's done, I'll drop it. The name's called Better Than You. So as soon as it's finished, I have it up for everybody to listen to.
Okay.
But another reason I'm doing my best to try and stand out from the thousands and thousands of other wrestlers. Like a lot of people have a rapper gimmick, but they come out to Nickelback or they come out to Linkin Park, something that has nothing to do with their gimmick. I just don't understand it. Like you have a guy who plays a cowboy for a gimmick, but he'll come out to like 2 Chainz, and it's like, what are you doing? Like you're supposed to go out and curtain and make people believe, and right now it's like you're getting laughed at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta actually make it relatable to your gimmick and whatnot, or if not, like you said, it doesn't really quite make a whole lot of sense there. But yeah, shout out to Montezi, who is actually going to be a guest on our program coming up here later on this summer. So we got some cool stuff to discuss with him here. So the next question I have for you, Irvin, is, from what I've been told, you are the youngest wrestler, which is a part of ProWrestlers.com. So how did that come to be, and how has it benefited you in your career so far?
Well, I kept in contact with Steve Stasiak because I saw like connections he had, and one day he shot me a message and said, "Hey, I don't normally do this, but I feel like you have something special. I've never met you, but I see the passion like in your posts and your matches, and I want to work with you." So, of course, I'd have to be an idiot to say no. So I said yes, and I've been with Book Pro Wrestling for about a year.
Okay.
And it's kind of, I just found out a couple months ago that I'm the youngest wrestler on the clientele, and I'm one of the few independent talents because he mostly manages like bigger names, legends. So I'm very fortunate to be a part of that. And benefit wise, it affects my booking fee, and it allows me to go other places that I normally wouldn't have been able to go to if I wasn't up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like after I went to the Monster Factory a couple of times, and that was because of Steve. And that was also because I took the initiative to go to one of Danny's camps. And I believe Danny Cage is having a camp middle of July. So
Okay.
anybody that, wants to better themselves and learn, I highly suggest you go to those camps because these camps are legit. I enjoy them, but a lot of people I know are kind of hesitant going because they're scared about the drills, but it's part of wrestling. If you get a chance to make a performance center, it's like 10 times worse than. Not saying what the Monster Factory puts you through is easy, because it's not. I mean, for God's sakes, he has garbage cans lined up waiting for people to throw up. Yeah. It's like building a mini boot camp.
Yeah, people don't understand because when you're going through something tough like that, that's exactly what it's preparing you for. It's preparing you for the next step. Let's talk about Will Rude here real quick. He was a guest on our podcast a couple weeks ago. He said that some of the stuff that he has done, like at Brickhouse Pro Wrestling, and some of the rigors he's gone through, that really set him up for success when he went down there to the WWE Performance Center. And he was ready for all the stuff that they were throwing at him. So, yeah, don't be afraid of a challenge. Speaking of the companies that you've worked for, Dale has a question about that. So, Dale, what you got for Irvin?
Well, if we could kind of just get a rundown of the ones that you've worked for, and share with us some of your most positive experiences that you've had, and maybe the biggest challenge that you've also faced.
Well, as a indie wrestler and as a smaller guy, the reason why I keep shoving that people down people's throats is because we're often overlooked. We're often looked at, well, I'm going to use this kid to get my top guy over, or I'm going to have him bump more because he's smaller and I don't see him as being the top guy. So whenever I go to a new place, I have to deal with that. I have no problem, losing. I have no problem doing what I'm asked to do. But I at least ask for respect. And, sometimes I don't even get that. I get, hey, kid, do this, and then, maybe you'll get paid or something. 2 years ago, I had to deal with that, but now it'll be a different story because anybody that wants to book me has to go through my booking agent. So there's going to be no, stiffing me of money like what happened to me last weekend.
Okay.
So, positively, there are two companies that I love to work for, and one of them being the Monster Factory because there's so much knowledge, and, of course, everybody in that building has more muscle than me, so, of course, I'm going to ask them, hey, what can I do to change my diet and stuff like that. So it's like a mini bodybuilding camp as well. Rage Wrestling is North Carolina. That was actually one of the first companies to pay me, like, up front. Like, as soon as I got in the door, by envelope. Like, it's nice to be able to get paid before the show so I don't have to hunt the promoter down and possibly not get paid. And then, they also had catering. They had a little room with, like, salads and pizza and stuff that I couldn't eat. But it was still nice to have, because you'd be lucky if you, have a bottle of water at some places.
Oh, brother, trust me. Trust me, I know from experience.
Yeah,
we know firsthand about having seeing wrestlers have to chase down a promoter when we were still training with the Reno Wrestle Factory, where we were up with the guys at a city or at a show in Fog City in San Francisco, and they had to chase down that promoter because he was trying to. It felt like he was trying to skip out on paying them their money. So, yeah, definitely know how that feels.
Yeah, not a good feeling at all. Yeah, so I'm glad that that so far, for the most part, I mean, you've had some pretty positive experiences. There's always going to be that one, but you can't let the one bad apple spoil the whole bunch. So let's talk about here some of the wrestlers who have recently given you shout-outs, Irvin. There have been two well-known names who have given you your props lately. One of them being former Impact Superstar, that is, Hernandez, and also women's wrestler Leilani Kai, who you are actually a protege of. So how did your relationship come to be with Leilani Kai and with Hernandez?
Well, actually, me and Leilani have talked a couple of times through social media, and of course, Steve is my booking agent, and somehow Leilani and Steve know each other. And Leilani gave me a shout out on Twitter because she heard about me on the internet and stuff, which that brings me, it's really, really hard. I know getting over on the internet isn't really that big of a deal to some, and then some it is. It's really hard to be, stay talked about. Like, some people have, their time to shine for, like, maybe a month or two, and then that's it. It's really hard to keep getting talked about over and over.
Yeah.
And I've actually been able to do that. Like, I haven't wrestled in 2 months, and then I had a guy call me out, like, out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, because of that, she contacted me, and, I talked to her, and I told her about my relationship with Steve, and she offered, hey, if you need any help, let me know, and I said, sure. And then a couple weeks later, I asked her, hey, this is what I'm looking for. That turned into, well, do you want to be my protege? I can show you the ropes, and of course I said yes.
Definitely.
So that happened. Yeah, that happened. And then a couple weeks ago, I got in contact with Hernandez through Rudy, because I was supposed to wrestle for Rudy last weekend, but I had complications with my doctor, so I had to pull out.
That being Rudy Boy Gonzalez, right?
Yeah, I will be back down there at some point this summer. I just have to get my situation with my doctor right, because he wasn't clearing me, and it wouldn't have been fair to Rudy if he put me on and I'm not cleared for liability.
Mm-hmm.
Because the concussion was pretty bad. Like, I literally don't remember anything that happened. I just see the video.
Wow.
But yeah, like, I legitimately got knocked out. I remember last thing I remember was the German, and then I woke up and I was in the locker room, and that was pretty much it.
Who KO'd you? Who was it who did that to you?
Juggernaut.
Okay. Who's going to be another guest on our program later on this summer? Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with the name.
A lot of people, I hope a lot of people didn't give him crap for it, because, I don't really like putting people over, but I will say Juggernaut is a better athlete than people give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
He is new too. I'm new, but I have a little bit more experience than he does. But I feel like if he keeps on the route he's going, he's going to be something big. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he's got the size, he's got the look, and I've talked to the guy. He seems like a dude of integrity, served in the military and whatnot, so we're definitely interested in learning more about him later on once he comes on our show. But for now, like I said, this is dedicated to you, Irvin. Now, there's a former WWE superstar who you have a not-so-great relationship with. I'm going to go ahead and let Dale ask that question to you. Dale, what you got for Irvin?
Yeah, that's right. So recently you found yourself in a backstage brawl with Rodney Mack, formerly of WWE. So explain to us how this all unfolded, and when will we get to see you two settle the score?
Well, as soon as that self-moid as soon as that coward will stop hiding from it,
okay,
we can make the match. If he ever finds his testicles, I've been trying to get the match made for months. He keeps ducking me, but
okay.
Shows me he's scared and he ain't as tough as he portrays himself to be. And that's the main reason why I went after him, because everybody's scared of him. And one of my trainers was Damian Wayne, and Damian has had a couple of run-ins with Mac, as of late.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mac's always used to fighting people, his age, and he's been there. But me, I'm hungry and I ain't scared of nobody. So I went right in that locker room. I knew we were on the same card, so I went right up there. I picked a fight with him, and that was that. And I've been trying to get this match booked, but our schedules haven't been working with each other. Like, he's either, in Texas or I'm doing this. So, but it will happen before the year's over. Even if I have to go to that stinking town of Louisiana to face him, that's what I'll do.
Rodney Mack, the gauntlet's been laid down, brother.
and let me say one more thing. I said the same thing on Duke's podcast. I'll say it on yours. If Rodney Mack is so scared that he has to hide behind Jazz, a woman, because he can't find his testicles, he maybe left in the locker room somewhere. And I have no problem taking care of both of them.
Okay, now.
So, I'll lay that out there, too.
Hey.
So hopefully he heard that, and hopefully he'll get the courage and the intestinal fortitude to make this match.
Hey,
I've been waiting.
Rodney Mack, if you out there listening, brother, hey, Irvin is laying down the gauntlet, man. I cannot wait to see y'all two throw down. This is going to be something else once it happens, man. I hope that it's close enough to me where I can travel and go check it out. Or at least Dale can, depending upon where it's going to take place at. But, yeah, man, you've got all kinds of people coming at you. So I recently became acquainted with these guys, the Fat Man and the Jew. from the Get in the Ring podcast. I actually checked out those guys last night. Good guys there, man. I actually, won a photo op with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the show they got coming up on the 25th here out in Queens, New York. Looks like I'm not going to be able to make it, so my boy Craig Perkins, the third member of our No Games podcast team, is going to be over there to handle that for us. But this dude, Rage, he's talking all kinds of mess. Irvin, what's the deal with that? And how's it all going to go down, man?
So I'm actually kind of offended that poor man's Ultimate Warrior took time out of his day to call it the greatest living, breathing professional athlete alive today, and myself. See, I'm going to be doing him a favor, and he's sharing the ring with greatness.
Okay.
And I'm going to be the main reason why people are talking about him, because they sure as hell ain't talking about him right now.
Okay.
So, if anything, he needs to buy me a steak dinner after the match, thanking me for revitalizing his career.
He's bringing it to you, Rage. And I don't know how my name got tied up in this whole mess. Somebody said something about if I'm going to have your back. Hey, I have not been to the ring in about, how long has it been now? Almost 7 years. But I'm telling you, you don't want the hired gun to come out of retirement now. Because I will be right there with Irvin, man, to have his back if need be.
And, the Fat Man and the Jew, they got a cool little podcast going on, but I was a fan of the Jew until he started talking all this hot garbage. I was a fan of him until he disrespected my ability. So if he wants to be a loser, if he wants to be on the loser's end and have Rage in his corner, then I'll be with Fat Man, and me and Fat Man will be winning. Me and the Fat Man will, have a victory celebration while the Jew and Rage is eating at a dumpster somewhere. So if that's what the Jew wants to set himself up for, he got it.
Hey, you know who the Fat Man reminds me of from that podcast? Doesn't he kind of remind you of my man from the Nasty Boys a little bit? Which one is it?
Yeah, he does.
Is it Jerry Sads?
Jerry. Yeah, Jerry.
Hey, man. So at this time, we've had the opportunity to kind of get to know you a little bit, Irvin, but we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. So at this point in the show, we would like to give you the opportunity to promote whichever shows that you will be appearing on, projects which you're involved in, or any social media accounts which you'd like to share. So without further ado, the floor is yours, Irvin.
So my Facebook is Irvin Legend. My Instagram is Irvin Legend Official, and my Twitter is Irvin Legend 93.
Oh, I know you got more than that, man. What else? What shows you got coming up? What projects? What else? What else you got coming up here?
July 29th, I'll be at VCW in Norfolk. I'll be in the Liberty Lottery.
Mm-hmm.
That is it for right now because, of course, I had May and June dates, but I had to cancel all of them because of, me getting hurt. So right now I'm spending, the whole month of June trying to get the bookings. I may have one in New York to face that broken down minivan Rage. So as soon as I, get that locked down, I'll let y'all know too.
Okay. Yeah.
But the only confirmed date is I have the July date.
Okay. Yeah. So, hey, I just want to take the time to say this, man. We have been talking for a while off and on here. And like I said, I have never met somebody, I'd say, who's been so eager to be a guest on the No Gimmicks podcast. So, Irvin, it's great to finally have you on here, have the opportunity to talk to you. It definitely seems like you have the right idea, man. You've got the integrity. You know what you have to do in order to stand out. I think you definitely know what you have to do to get to the next level, man. So it's been a pleasure having you on here. Dale and I would definitely like to have you on in the future as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely make it happen.
Oh, yes.
I really enjoyed being here.
Definitely, Irvin. So, yeah, one thing is for sure. Me, Dale, and Irvin, we can sit here and talk about wrestling all night long, but unfortunately, this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast is coming to a close here. So thank you for joining us for our interview with Irvin Legend. We are No Gimmicks, No Image, all wrestling, all the time. Please subscribe to our official YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/The No Gimmicks Podcast. Please make sure that you subscribe publicly so that way we are aware of your support. Check out Craig Perkins' articles on ProWrestling.com. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comment section. Also, please like our Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other pro wrestling fans on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.